Earth holds within it places so strange they challenge both science and imagination. Where icy volcanoes still simmer beneath the surface, forests grow beneath lake beds, mountain ranges gleam with the colors of the rainbow, and towering stone pillars rise skyward as if sculpted by a giant hand. And most remarkably, have you ever heard of Golden Rock? A massive boulder that has balanced on the edge of a cliff for 2,500 years, defying every known law of physics. After the recent 7.7 magnitude earthquake in Myanmar, is it still standing? The answer awaits you at the end of this video. But first, join World Mystery Wonders on a journey to uncover the most mysterious places on the planet, where nature not only shapes the land, but leaves behind secrets that have never been explained. Kaindy Lake, Kazakhstan. Hidden at an altitude of over 2,000 meters above sea level, amidst the majestic Tian Shan Mountains of Kazakhstan, Kaindy Lake appears like a gateway to another world, a place where nature quietly tells its story, through stone, water, and time. In 1911, a powerful earthquake triggered a massive limestone landslide that blocked a mountain stream, unintentionally creating Kaindy Lake, submerging an entire lush pine forest. Strangely, even after more than a century, the submerged pine trunks remain remarkably preserved, thanks to the lake's cold depths and unique mineral composition. Above the surface, the tree trunks jut out like moss-covered spears, forming a hauntingly beautiful scene unlike anything else on Earth. The lake is about 30 meters deep, with crystal-clear turquoise water that shifts in color depending on the sunlight and weather. In winter, the surface freezes over, allowing you to literally walk across the fossilized forest, as if stepping between two dimensions. Located about 130 kilometers from Almaty, reaching Kaindy requires navigating rugged trails and winding uphill roads, a journey that's far from easy. But this very remoteness helps preserve the lake's untouched, almost otherworldly tranquility. The best time to witness Kaindy's surreal beauty is in summer, June to September, when the lake mirrors the sky like glass, and the submerged forest beneath its blue-green waters creates a dreamlike, ethereal landscape. Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland. Along the windswept coast of Northern Ireland lies a place where the very definition of nature becomes blurred. This is the Giant's Causeway, a majestic formation that, at first glance, might convince you it was built by an alien civilization. Nearly 40,000 hexagonal basalt columns, stacked tightly together with astonishing precision, stretch from the mainland out into the open sea. Varying in height, the columns resemble colossal steps leading into the ocean's depths. When the tide recedes, the entire scene reveals itself like a fossilized symphony, a melody that time began but never finished. According to Irish legend, the causeway was built by the giant Finn McCool, who wanted to cross the sea to Scotland to challenge his rival. But upon seeing the opponent's massive size, Finn panicked and fled. His clever wife disguised him as a baby. When the rival saw the child, he imagined the father must be unimaginably larger. Terrified, he turned back and destroyed the causeway behind him. From a scientific perspective, these columns were formed around 50 million years ago during a period of intense volcanic activity. As molten lava cooled, it contracted and fractured into geometric shapes, creating the eerily symmetrical stone columns we see today. Yet the unnatural perfection of their shape and structure still leaves scientists in awe. Whether seen through the lens of myth or geology, Giant's Causeway is a true symphony of stone and time. where nature doesn't just sculpt forms, but also ignites the imagination for centuries to come. Mount Roraima, Venezuela. Amid the mist-covered jungles of the Amazon, Mount Roraima rises like an isolated prehistoric fortress. With its flat summit seemingly sliced from the sky, this majestic plateau sits at the tri-border of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana, towering about 2,810 meters above sea level. It is a remnant of the ancient Guiana Shield, one of the oldest geological formations on Earth, believed to have formed over 2 billion years ago. Roraima is unlike any mountain you've ever seen. Its tabletop summit looks as though someone took a blade and carved through the sky. Sheer cliffs surround it, while thick clouds cling to its base, like a protective veil separating it from the outside world. At its summit lies a completely isolated ecosystem, home to plants and creatures found nowhere else on Earth, like the carnivorous Roraima pitcher plants, or tiny frogs that dwell only in ancient rain-filled rock pools. It's a world seemingly sealed off for millions of years. To the indigenous people, this is sacred land. According to the legends of the Paimon tribe, Roraima was once a giant tree that gave birth to all fruits and plants. When the tree was felled, a great flood swept across the world, and the mountain is all that remains. For explorers, climbing Mount Roraima is like stepping into a time capsule of legends, where every stone, every drop of rain, every gust of wind seems to whisper forgotten tales from a primeval Earth. Vlei, Namib Desert, Namibia. In a place where the heat seems to melt the very air, where the sun hangs like a blazing red eye in the sky, there exists a land that is both overwhelming and haunting. This is Vlei, the Dead Marsh, nestled in the heart of the Namib Desert in Namibia. Here, ancient camel thorn trees, dead for over 900 years, still stand eerily intact, charred black and motionless against the stark white clay ground, surrounded by towering red sand dunes that rise up to 300 meters. The strange stillness of this place makes you feel as if you've stepped into a post-apocalyptic world, where sound, life, and movement have been frozen forever. Once, Vlei was a thriving oasis, nourished by the Sochab River. But when shifting sand dunes cut off the river's flow, all life was abruptly severed. The climate is so dry that not even microorganisms can survive, causing the trees to die without decaying, becoming wooden statues turned to stone. Under the blazing sun, the shadows of the trees stretch across the white earth, in chilling contrast to the deep blue sky and fiery red dunes, creating a surreal masterpiece, untouched by human hands. No birdsong, no wind, only the solemn silence of nature, telling a story of life, death, and a beauty that transcends destruction. Vlei is not just a geological wonder, it is a powerful reminder that nature can turn decay into eternal art. Moeraki Boulders, New Zealand. On Koakohi Beach, located on New Zealand's South Island, you'll encounter one of the strangest sights on Earth. Perfectly round boulders, as large as cars, scattered across the sand as if they had just fallen from the sky. These are the Moeraki Boulders, one of the planet's most mysterious natural wonders. Each boulder is almost a perfect sphere, some measuring over 2 meters in diameter, with smooth surfaces. A few have cracked open, revealing strange honeycomb-like patterns inside. When the tide rises and the waves gently lap around them, they appear like ancient creatures awakening from the depths of the ocean. According to geologists, these boulders are the result of concretion, a process that began around 60 million years ago, when minerals began to precipitate around an organic core beneath the seabed, similar to how a pearl forms inside a shell. Over time, sediment compressed the structures, and as the sea retreated, these giant pearls were left exposed on the shore. But the Maori people have a different story. To them, these stones are sacred relics from a mythical shipwreck. The water containers, ropes, and fishing nets aboard the canoe were all turned to stone as they washed ashore. For the Maori, these aren't just rocks. They are a spiritual link to their ancestors. Whether viewed through the lens of science or culture, every perspective makes the Moeraki Boulders extraordinary. A place both ancient and alive, as if nature itself is writing its own language in stone. Spotted Lake, Canada. Amid the arid grasslands of British Columbia, Canada, lies a landscape that looks as if it belongs to another planet. This is Spotted Lake, where, in summer, the lake's surface transforms into a massive color palette, filled with vivid circular spots of green, yellow, white, and brown, overlapping like a natural abstract painting. This bizarre phenomenon is caused by the lake's extremely high mineral concentration, especially magnesium sulfate, calcium, and sodium sulfate. In the summer, as the water evaporates, the minerals crystallize and reveal hundreds of round spots, each forming a mini-lake with its own distinct color, depending on the minerals within. These spots can change shape and color with temperature, sunlight, and rainfall, creating an ever-shifting, surreal, and almost unpredictable landscape. In some areas, the mineral deposits are thick enough that you can walk across the surface as if on crystallized salt. But for the Okanagan First Nations people, this place is more than a geological curiosity. They call it Hiluk, a sacred lake believed to possess healing powers thanks to the unique mineral content in each colored pool. For centuries, the Spotted Lake has been a site of pilgrimage and healing rituals for the local tribes. Today, the lake is strictly protected, and visitors may only observe it from a distance. Yet even from behind the fence, as you gaze down at the patterned surface, it feels as if you're witnessing an ancient message, written not in words, but in color and crystallized minerals. Mount Erebus, Antarctica. In the coldest place on Earth, where life seems to be eternally frozen, an unbelievable paradox exists. Giant ice towers rising from an active volcano. This is Mount Erebus, a blazing fortress of fire nestled in the icy heart of Antarctica. Standing over 3,794 meters tall, Erebus is one of the few volcanoes on Earth with a permanent lava lake. But what makes it truly surreal are the hollow ice towers, some reaching up to 10 meters high, growing from the volcano's steam vents. As superheated gases rise from deep within the Earth and meet the extreme sub-zero temperatures, they instantly freeze, forming crystalline chimneys, pure white and glowing in the sunlight like frozen spirits. On the rare sunny days, sunlight filters through the transparent ice, casting a mystical blue glow. But what makes Erebus truly legendary is what lies inside these icy pillars. Scientists have discovered a miracle: extremophile bacteria, organisms that live without sunlight, without oxygen, and can survive in extreme cold and toxic gases. These microbes could be the key to understanding life on frozen worlds like Mars or Europa. Reaching Erebus means crossing glaciers, braving blizzards, and enduring profound isolation. Yet those who have stood there all agree: to stand where fire and ice coexist, to hear the gurgling of hot gas beneath your feet, and to witness towering ice columns rising before you is a truly surreal experience, as if you're watching the Earth breathe, live, and guard secrets that humanity has yet to comprehend. Haukadalur Geothermal Field, Iceland. In the land of fire and ice, there's a place where the Earth never truly sleeps. This is Haukadalur, a strange and powerful geothermal field where boiling water shoots skyward, mud pots bubble fiercely, and sulfuric steam coils through the air like ghostly mist. It's a primordial world where you can feel the fiery heart of the planet beating beneath your feet. The most iconic feature here is Geyser, the first geyser ever recorded in human history, and the origin of the word geyser used worldwide. Though geyser is now largely dormant, it occasionally awakens after major earthquakes, erupting with boiling water soaring up to 70 meters high. A sudden outburst of Mother Nature's fury. At the center of the field lies Strókur, the most famous active geyser in Iceland, which erupts every 5 to 10 minutes, shooting water 20 to 30 meters into the air like clockwork. Here, the ground shudders lightly beneath you, steam hisses, mud boils, and the thick scent of sulfur hangs in the air, making you feel as though you've stepped into a world that refuses to be tamed. Haukadalur is not just a place where you can witness the planet's raw energy. It's where you can feel life itself shifting and stirring beneath the very crust we call home. Zhangye Danxia Geopark, China. In the remote northwest of China, where sun and wind relentlessly shape the barren mountains, lies a land that has stunned the world. At Zhangye Danxia Geopark in Gansu Province, nature has accomplished the seemingly impossible, creating mountains painted with the colors of the rainbow, so vivid and mystical that it's hard to believe they're real. This surreal phenomenon was formed over millions of years as layers of mineral-rich sedimentary rock were deposited and compressed by tectonic movement. Iron oxide gives the mountains their red hues, while manganese and copper minerals contribute shades of yellow, green, and purple, blending together into a symphony of color. Each mountain ridge appears like a massive silk ribbon dyed by time itself. On sunny days, the colors shift with the changing light, glowing at sunrise, softening at sunset, and appearing almost dreamlike under the moon. From above, the rolling hills resemble waves of fire stretching to the horizon. The terrain is not only extraordinary in color, but also in form, with sharp peaks, deep crevices, and sheer cliffs that seem sculpted by a divine hand crafting a world of its own. Locals believe this place was once home to the gods. Some of the mountains are named after their resemblance to animals, castles, or even human faces, as if each formation holds the spirit of a forgotten supernatural world, long asleep in stone. Today, Danxia is recognized as a World Geological Heritage Site. While science can explain some of the mechanisms behind its colorful formation, it is the mystery that remains which makes Danxia one of Earth's most remarkable wonders. A place where you don't just witness beauty, but feel time itself quietly flowing through every layer of rock. Mount Thor, Canada. Amid the icy expanse of Nunavut in the Canadian Arctic, where life is reduced to the howling wind and endless snow, stands a mountain named after the Norse god of thunder, Mount Thor. But this isn't just a symbolic name. Mount Thor truly possesses the power of a god, boasting the world's tallest vertical cliff, nearly 1,250 meters of sheer, cold, and utterly unforgiving rock. From a distance, it appears as a colossal stone wall rising straight into the sky. Its west face tilts at over 105 degrees, meaning it actually leans slightly forward, defying gravity and daring anyone to approach. Although its summit reaches only about 1,675 meters above sea level, the mountain's sheer drop, extreme climate, and remote location make it one of the most daunting challenges for climbers. Those who've stood before it admit it's not just physical strength being tested, but the very limits of human willpower. Scientifically, Mount Thor is classified as an overhanging granite wall, a geological phenomenon formed by tectonic uplift over millions of years. But when you stand before it, you won't be thinking about geology. You'll feel the insignificance of humanity, the majesty of nature, and the overwhelming presence of what seems to be a living monument of defiance. Since the first successful ascent in 1985, only a few have ever reached its summit. And those who have all say the same thing. Standing at the foot of Mount Thor, you don't just witness nature's greatness, you realize how small you truly are. The 12 Apostles, Australia. Along Australia's iconic Great Ocean Road, there's a place that leaves every visitor speechless at first sight. These are the 12 Apostles, towering limestone pillars rising from the sea like stone deities, silently guarding the southern horizon. Despite the name 12 Apostles, their number was never actually 12. Originally, there were 9, and now, after millions of years of erosion by relentless waves and ocean winds, only 8 remain standing. Yet this very loss gives the place a deeper sense of emotion, as if you're witnessing time slowly erasing the memories of the universe. Each pillar, up to 50 meters tall, stands quietly in the turquoise waters, endlessly caressed by crashing waves. At sunrise and sunset, golden light bathes the stones, turning them into glowing statues, as if they belong to some sacred, forgotten world. And when storms roll in, the sea roars, foam sprays high into the air, and the apostles vanish into a mist of water, like ancient relics shrouded in the fury of the ocean. According to local legend, each pillar holds the soul of a sea spirit, turned to stone for breaking an ancient curse. Whether the myth is true or not, the feeling of standing before them is undeniable, both awe-inspiring and profoundly lonely. The 12 Apostles are more than a scenic landmark. They are a living lesson in impermanence, a reminder of beauty that fades day by day, piece by piece, stone by stone, like memories slowly dissolving into the endless depths of the ocean. Bermeja Island, Mexico. For centuries, Spanish nautical maps recorded the existence of a small island off the coast of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Bermeja Island, located at latitude 22 degrees 33 minutes north and longitude 91 degrees 22 minutes west. It was long considered unquestionably real, appearing on official maps from the 16th century all the way to the 20th. And yet, today, no one can find it. With the rise of modern satellite technology, the Mexican government, concerned about deep-sea resource claims, launched several surveys in the 1990s. Their goal was to confirm the island's location and existence, thereby strengthening the nation's maritime boundary. But the result? Nothing. No trace, no rock, no reef, as if Bermeja never existed at all. And the world was stunned. Some theories suggest the island sank due to tectonic activity or rising sea levels. Others believe it never existed and was simply a cartographic error, copied from old maps over the centuries. But the most intriguing are the conspiracy theories that Bermeja was intentionally destroyed to obscure maritime boundaries between Mexico and the United States, especially in an area believed to be rich in oil reserves. Whichever theory is true, Bermeja remains one of the greatest mysteries in modern cartography. Mount Kailash, Tibet. High on the Tibetan plateau, amidst snow-covered mountain ranges, rises a near-perfect pyramid-shaped peak. This is Mount Kailash, known by many names: the axis of the world, the center of the universe, or simply, the mountain no one is allowed to climb. Standing at about 6,638 meters, Kailash is not the tallest peak in the Himalayas, but it is undoubtedly the most sacred. For followers of Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, and Bon, Kailash is believed to be the dwelling place of the gods, its summit regarded as the center of samsara, the cycle of rebirth, and the origin of four major rivers: Indus, Sutlej, Brahmaputra, and Karnali. Unlike Everest, no one has ever set foot on Kailash's summit. Not because it's impossible, but because it's forbidden. Locals believe that climbing Kailash is a sin, an act of disrespect toward the divine. The Chinese government has officially banned all climbing activities, preserving the mountain's sacred purity. Instead of being conquered, thousands of pilgrims travel each year to circumambulate the base of the mountain, a ritual known as Kora, spanning dozens of kilometers. It's believed that completing a single circuit can cleanse a lifetime of sins, while completing 108 circuits can free one from the cycle of rebirth. Kailash is a symbol of the untouchable, a reminder that some things are not meant to be conquered, but revered. Perhaps in a world obsessed with domination, Kailash exists to remind us that there are still heights meant to preserve our faith in the sacred. Antelope Canyon, USA. In the Navajo Desert of Arizona, USA, there exists a canyon so narrow that only one person can pass through at a time. Yet it holds one of the most intricate natural masterpieces on Earth. This is Antelope Canyon, a slot canyon sculpted over millions of years by flash floods and wind-blown sand. The canyon stretches about 400 meters, but is only 1 to 3 meters wide at its base, with sandstone walls rising up to 37 meters high. It's primarily composed of Navajo sandstone, a type of rock formed from wind-blown sand compacted nearly 190 million years ago, during the Jurassic period. Rainwater and sudden floods carried sand that gradually eroded the rock walls, carving out smooth, spiraling curves, like fossilized flows of water frozen in time. But what has turned Antelope Canyon into a global phenomenon is its light effect. From April to September, sunlight streams through the narrow opening above, striking the smooth sandstone surfaces and refracting in dazzling patterns. This transforms the rock walls into shifting waves of color: orange, red, purple, and blue, as if the canyon itself is glowing from within. The phenomenon is so mesmerizing that photographers call it liquid light. In fact, one photograph taken here was sold for $6.5 million, becoming the most expensive photograph ever sold in 2014. According to Navajo legend, Antelope Canyon is the dwelling place of ancestral spirits, and the beams of light are bridges between heaven and earth. Those who enter are urged to do so with deep reverence, for every wall, every curve of the canyon holds a sacred story. Golden Rock, Myanmar. In Myanmar, there exists a natural and spiritual wonder that leaves every visitor in awe. The Golden Rock, also known as Kyaiktiyo Pagoda. This massive boulder precariously balances on the edge of a 1,100-meter-high cliff, gleaming gold like a floating jewel suspended in midair. What's truly miraculous is that it touches the rock surface beneath it with less than 20% of its base, yet it has remained firmly in place for thousands of years, defying all known laws of gravity. Recently, when Myanmar was struck by a powerful earthquake, many feared the fate of this seemingly hovering rock. But the result was astonishing. Golden Rock didn't move an inch, no cracks, no sign of instability. It is believed that the boulder is miraculously balanced by a single strand of the Buddha's hair, enshrined in the small pagoda built on top of the rock. According to legend, if that hair were ever removed, the rock would tumble into the abyss instantly. Because of this sacred belief, Golden Rock has become one of Myanmar's most revered Buddhist pilgrimage sites, attracting tens of thousands of devotees every year. From a scientific perspective, several theories suggest that the rock's stability comes from a low center of gravity, high friction, and stable geological conditions. Yet none of these fully explain how the rock has withstood the test of time and even earthquakes without ever falling. Beyond its impossible position and form, Golden Rock dazzles with its exterior of pure gold leaf. Over the centuries, hundreds of thousands of sheets of gold have been pressed onto the rock's surface, weighing in total hundreds of kilograms of gold. When sunlight hits it, Golden Rock glows, like a radiant golden torch standing tall amidst the sacred skies and earth. You've just completed a journey through the 15 most mysterious places on Earth, where nature not only shapes the land, but also writes stories that go beyond the limits of imagination. And perhaps it is precisely the imperfection and the unexplainable that make our planet so truly magnificent. If you too are moved by that beauty, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to World Mystery Wonders, so we can continue exploring this world together, a world where the wonders never end.